TCL might be better known for making TVs or selling rebranded devices with a BlackBerry or Alcatel logo, but now they're hoping to take on the mid-range with their own 10 Pro. We spent a little while with this pretty premium budget smartphone, and so this is our review of the TCL 10 Pro. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and enable notifications with the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. Making the jump from behind the scenes to the main stage is a difficult one. Heck, Google has found that to be the case with their own hardware attempts in recent years. TCL though isn't attempting to take on the high end of the market like Google. From just a pricing perspective, the TCL 10 Pro is towards the upper end of what we would normally consider mid-range, but at first glance you could be forgiven for thinking this was a high-end smartphone. TCL has done a superb job with the design of the 10 Pro, especially when you consider that plastic is still quite commonly used in the same price bracket. For whatever reason, an all-glass and metal design still feels more premium than polycarbonate, and that is definitely the case here. The standout inclusions happen to be that large 6.47-inch Full HD Plus OLED display. It's genuinely refreshing to see such a nice display on a phone that, relative to the competition, costs so little. It's bright, vibrant and has great viewing angles. It also does have a dewdrop notch, but the bezels are also relatively small on all sides. Internally is where some of the obvious savings have been made, as the TCL 10 Pro comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 chipset, and it does come with 6GB of RAM. It's by no means blazing, but it's good enough to do almost anything you can throw at it, and TCL has made the smart decision to add 128GB of base storage, so you'll have plenty of space for games, apps, images and videos. Should that be an issue, you always can slap in a micro SD card in there too. There's also a headphone port and IR blaster on the top bezel. There's even a dedicated Google Assistant button on the left side bezel too. Overall, I do really like the design of the 10 Pro, especially at the rear. The quad camera setup is aligned like a visor strip, but the kicker here is that it is completely flush with the body. There is a very minor bump, courtesy of the dual LED flash modules either side, which in itself is quite a unique design choice. Overall, the 10 Pro is a fantastic package that belies the price tag. The highest compliment I can bestow though is that you could easily confuse this for a much more expensive smartphone. Let's talk about the elephant in the room right up front here before we discuss the software and the performance. The TCL 10 Pro is confirmed to only get one major OS upgrade. Yes, a solitary upgrade. Even under $500, that is a bit of a gut punch. And of course, we can talk all about how nicely the device runs, but if the company is unwilling to upgrade buyers for longer than 12 months, which will actually be less when you consider that Android 11 is due to drop within the next 4 months, it's actually a sad indictment of a product. There is some hope though, as you will get consistent security updates for a while, and TCL may push that back and put Android 12 on the device at some point. However, what we have already is a solid first proper attempt at making a mid-ranger. The TCL 10 Pro does have some bloat, which is not ideal, but nor is it a deal breaker. I didn't also see any performance dips as a result of the TCL skin atop Android 10, which was somewhat surprising too. Generally, it felt no different to any of my other Android smartphones. Once I had the phone catered to my own palette, I found it to be slick, smooth and consistent. I was cautious to try out some of the most demanding 3D gaming titles though, but I honestly couldn't see any major discrepancies between the TCL 10 Pro and even my Pixel 4 XL, save that higher refresh rate display. By default, all photos taken with the TCL 10 Pro are watermarked, which is something you'll definitely want to disable right out of the gate. The post-processing of images can ruin some shots, but overall I think they are pretty much right in the middle of the quality spectrum at that sub $500 price bracket. I mentioned the lack of camera bump is an awesome design decision, but the actual number of lenses is also a great bit of foresight from TCL. The TCL 10 Pro comes with 4 distinct focal lengths to play around with, which proves to be one of this camera system's real strong suits. As I said, images are impressive given that this is technically one of the first TCL smartphones to hit the market. It doesn't quite match up to the Pixel 3a or the iPhone SE, but it wins with flexibility, and images are not quite as sharpened as you see from other cheaper devices, lacking in the camera hardware stakes. Expect the saturation of your photos to be dialed up quite extensively though. That might be something you can fix in post. Long battery life is one area that affordable smartphones really seem to hit the mark, and even with an impressively large and vibrant Full HD Plus display, the TCL 10 Pro doesn't appear to suffer thanks to the 4500 mAh battery tucked inside. Even with heavy usage, it's not a problem, as the lower spec chipset clearly ensures that things don't boil over and start sapping the cell packed inside. There is no wireless charging though, which is a bummer, but the 18-watt fast charger does fine for topping up the battery in my experience. So in summary, the TCL 10 Pro feels very much like a premium smartphone. However, there are some little annoyances that do ultimately take away from the experience a tad. The fit and finish is impressive, but ultimately there are some slightly better overall options in or around the same price tag that make the TCL 10 Pro hard to wholeheartedly recommend. As you may already know, if the Google Pixel 4a does come in at under $350, it's going to take a heck of a beating based upon what we already know so far, and given how good the Pixel 3a was last year. You can also get build this good from the iPhone SE too, but this has one of the best displays on a sub $450 smartphone you can buy today. Samsung's own Galaxy A51 series is another competitor for TCL to tackle, while the rest of the world has access to high quality, affordable smartphones from the likes of Oppo, Vivo, Realme and Xiaomi, making it a little bit harder to recommend on top of that. With all that said though, what do you think? Let us know down in the comments section below. We'll also have a review of the more affordable TCL 10L in the coming days, so stay tuned. But as always, this is Damien with 95 Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.